Hey, hey, friends and revolutionaries, back with a Masters of the Universe Classics review. The Not Quite Ready series I'm going to put aside for this week. We'll get back to it soon. But with Man-Faces and Megator coming either tomorrow or Tuesday, I really want to go ahead and take a look at one of the figures that I got from the SDCC orders that opened up at the first. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at, well, this is not really the SDCC version, as you full well know. This is the Matty.com version of the SDCC figure, which was Queen Marlena, and here we've got Captain Glenn, which of course was Queen Marlena prior to her landing on Eternia, back when she was an Earth pilot, or a heroic galactic adventure, as it says. I like this. I like this idea. I like the fact that for those of us, well, for those of you who are lucky enough to get to go to the SDCC, that you had a very unique kind of version of this figure, but at the same time, we who didn't get to go still get the figure. We can still get it. It's just, it's not packaged quite the same way. And for those of you who got one, probably might have gotten this one as well, just to have both. But I like the fact that Matty said, we're still going to give you a chance to get it, but they went ahead and, whoops, but they went ahead and changed the packaging a bit, just so that those people who are at the SDCC got something unique. I like that. I like the fact that for everyone else, we could still get it. It's just going to be a little different. Same figure, just a little different while you have it in the package. I like that. And I like how Matty does those kind of things. You know, I want to give Matty some props because they're taking a lot of heat lately based on two things. One is the 2012 subscriptions and all the conversation about how much the figures are going to be what the run of the figures are going to be like, how few of them there may be, and of course that Shadow Weaver is going to be the exclusive. You know, they're taking a lot of heat on it, rightfully or wrongfully so. That's going to be up to each individual person, but they're getting a lot of heat on that. And of course on the 30th anniversary figures, the 6 kind of brand new characters that were supposed to be coming out, that I'm kind of surprised they didn't take more heat when it was announced that they were not going to be part of the subscription. That's the one thing I just want to say very clearly, that over the past 3 years and 4 months since the subscriptions originally started, from late 2009 all the way down to 2012, it's something where it's like, I've ordered my subscriptions. I've been after these figures, and I've been doing it knowing that I'm committing to something on the second half of the year without knowing what it is. Blind orders, no problem. I just want figures in line. I want to be able to have a complete set from the line. So please, Matty, please, I'm begging you, get those 30th anniversary figures in there, including Photog. There's been some talk that he may not be. If they do, get him in there, because Photog is really the one that I think most people are going to recognize and want. So enough of that. Taking a look at the packaging. Same Masters of the Universe packaging we usually get, just much, much larger. Kind of in line with the Orko's packaging from last year. Except, in this case, well, actually in both cases, yeah, there was almost an extra figure inside. Particularly this guy right here. All the typical, Masters of the Universe Classic logo, lightning, dimple, air holes. On the back, we've got other figures from the Royal Court, starting with Man-at-Arms, Orko that we said, Adora, a Eternian Guard, King Randor, there's Queen Marlena, which you can see there's Queen Marlena, and then Captain Glenn, and then Prince Adam. On her write-up, and I'm going to stop a couple times when I go through her write-up here. Real name, Marlena Glenn. Before she was Queen of Eternia, Marlena Glenn was a heroic explorer and space captain from planet Earth. Along with her courageous crew, she traveled the stars in search of new sources of fuel for her homeworld. A crack shot with almost any laser rifle, she prefers the Higachi 1114. Now make a note, the gun has a name. They actually name the kind of gun. That's going to be important here in just a couple of seconds, or a couple of minutes. For its speed and accuracy. On many adventures, she learned to rely not only on her strength and courage, but her intellect as well. After completing her assignment with Project Photog, Marlena volunteered to pilot an experimental warp ship through a black hole. Arriving in the center of her dimension, she became the first Earthling to make contact with the magical planet of Eternia. Late in life, she used the power of the cosmic key to return to her homeworld, discovering a great secret that linked the two planets she called home. Now, there's a couple of teasers in here that I'm going to go ahead and spoil for you. So, as we get the figure open and take a look, yeah, we're going to go ahead and spoil a few things. But before we do that, let's go ahead and pop her out of the pack, have some fun. Be right back. All right, well, now that we've got Captain Glenn out of her pack, mind you, it wasn't Queen Marlena, it was Captain Glenn. Now that we have her out of her pack, I gotta say, the one thing that people are probably going to notice right up front, she's a lot of Adora. She is a lot of Adora, and it's something where that's okay. You know, it's something where, you know, reusing Master Universe Classic figures is, you know, not that unusual. In this case, they pretty much just changed out the boots and did a new head. They made some adjustments to the bodysuit, which is very Adora. I mean, right down to the gun that she has pinned around her waist. You know, a nice reuse. You know, the SDCC figures, you know, they're usually not much more than a variant on something that's already out there anyway. So again, you know, reusing Adora, I'm not making a big fuss about. Like the detail on the back of her helmet there, that's kind of cool. For Filmation fans, you probably recognize the emblem that was on the side of Marlena's ship. So that's kind of cool. She has the name tag Glenn painted on there. It's a little covered up by the helmet though. So we'll go ahead and take the fishbowl helmet off. I was actually kind of curious when I first saw her about whether or not the whole head with the fishbowl was going to be one piece. I'm quite pleased with the fact that this is actually two separate pieces. Well, three separate pieces, I guess. You know, it's not that this is just a full head that pegs on, but in fact can come off and letting you have her without her helmet. Actually, a very impressive figure, very statuesque. Very much so once you get her into her Queen Marlena dress. But yeah, Captain Glenn. Got the head, very Catra style head. Again, very sharp angles on the cheekbones. I'm wondering if you know, this head might not be a retool of Catra's, particularly with how sharp those cheekbones are. But completely original sculpt on the hair with the ponytail. That's actually kind of nice. A little bit of an issue with the paint right there along the neck. There's also kind of a glue, I don't know, smudge there. Nothing real bad. I mean, it's a little distracting, and that's a little disappointing up there. Not so bad there, but only real problems that I can find with her. Nice tight joint on the head. Whoa. Whenever we peg it back on, there we go. Nice tight joint on the head. It's one of the things where it doesn't bobble. You know, as far as the female heads go, you know, it's actually pretty good. Just like Adora, the arms come up and out. Twist. Twist the bicep, elbow. Wrist is kind of tight. I might be kind of careful moving that around. There is a swivel at the waist. Leg twist to the top of the thigh. Comes up and out. Bend at the knee, boot, and foot. Now, while you have her in her space, Captain Glenn's spacesuit, appreciate the articulation, particularly from the waist down. Because when she becomes Queen Marlena, that all goes away. It's worth the sacrifice, but yeah, don't expect there to be any of this articulation that you're going to be able to take advantage of once you swap her into her Queen Marlena. Now, I did say that she was kind of a redo of Adora. One of the key things they changed was on the back, whereas Adora has the holster for her sword. And again, it's the exact same bodysuit, exactly the same, other than that. Which is cool, because actually I have a spare Adora. It may give me a chance to actually keep Captain Glenn after switching her to Marlena. You know, we'll have to take a look. But, yeah, there's this scene that goes down, and before I go there, let me talk about her other accessory. Because I did say that I was going to spoil something for you. Here's the gun, the 1114. I consider myself to be kind of a moderate Masters of the Universe fan. Okay, maybe a bit more militant than that, but, you know, I don't consider myself to be quite so die-hard as some people. But I actually saw this and thought, okay, that's kind of a cool rifle. You know, it's very spacey. I suppose, you know, as far as being a weapon that would be kept on board her ship for whenever she was stranded or what have you, defense. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, she's got her sidearm, which is just a reuse of Adora's pistol. But I thought, yeah, that's actually kind of a nifty laser rifle. Well, I didn't realize until about 2 days later, while I was watching the Masters of the Universe Classics, or Masters of the Universe live-action movie, the one with Dolph Lundgren, that this gun is actually taken from the movie. This gun is in the movie. It's a prop from the movie. You can't really see it very well here, but He-Man is holding it. And when you watch it, it's mostly a gun that's used, well, here you go. There you go. But it's mostly used by Skeletor's Black Guard. So this gun actually has come from the live-action movie. Now that's one little spoiler to let you know, or one part of a spoiler that I'm going to get to here later. Oh, why not? I'll talk about it now. I was kind of curious about that, so I did some digging, and it turns out that from the live-action movie, there is a scene that I guess was in the original script. I don't know if it was ever shot. I don't think so from what I listened to on the commentary. But there is a scene where at the very end, before Courtney Cox and McNeil, or Tom Paris for Voyager fans, before they return back to Earth, the sorceress shows them one of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. And it turns out to be an American flag. So, you know, whenever they're talking about, you know, Captain Glenn or Queen Marlena going back to Earth using the cosmic key, kind of the premise behind part of the premise behind the live-action movie, and then to find out that in that movie had been a scene written that the American flag was one of the secrets of Castle Grayskull, you kind of wonder what mystery they're referring to about what links these two worlds. I'm not saying that's what it is, I'm only saying that's what I found out. So, and you guys might have already known about it, you may have already known about the gun. I was a little blown away when I was watching the movie. I watch it fairly regularly. And I was blown away when I was watching it and realized, wait a minute, I know that gun. And then did a little more research and found out, oh, okay. But yeah, just to get to Marlena real quick, or to now get to Marlena from Captain Glenn. The gun does unpeg just like it does on Adora. Comes off like so. And then when you pull on the seam, it begins to untab the back of the armor, almost like a zipper. Just like a rubber zipper. And it will just come off like so. And in case no one's done it yet, here's how the female bucks look before any armor is placed on them. And I do believe that this is the, well, no, this is the old body. This still uses the old Adora body. So how the new She-Ra and the future female figures will look, I'm not sure. But if we take the Queen Marlena dress and see it has the same kind of thing, you just slip it through like so. Wrap it on, and then start putting these in. Now I'm not going to do this on camera. I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick pause and switch her around, but we'll be right back and see how Marlena turned out. Alright, so here we go. Queen Marlena, or the green candle, if you want to call her that. As I said with Glenn, you know, once you get her in this dress, it's still a very, you know, kind of firm plastic. It's not real hard. You know, it's got the flexibility for the for these tabs, but it's certainly, you know, one solid piece going all the way down. So, you know, as far as the articulation at the waist goes, not gonna be able to use it. You can still twist the boot or the leg. I don't know how far it's twisting by, you know, just to kind of get her feet into a place where she'll stand well. But that's it. That's it. There's no way the dress is going to give her a chance to sit down or anything else. So Queen Marlena, you know, she's never going to be able to sit on her throne. You know, she's always going to be forced to stand. But it's still a beautiful figure. Again, very statuesque. You know, I got to say, with the dress that goes all the way down to her feet, all the way down to the floor, it makes her look very elegant. I mean, it's a very nice figure, and it's very simple. I mean, it's just a regular green dress with her gold belt. I think it looks quite nice. It's a great version of the Filmation Queen Marlena. Looking at her face, I think the only complaint I really have on her face, I mean, the tiara looks great. The hair is painted very, very nicely. And as I said, it definitely is the Filmation version. But on the sculpt on the face, and particularly around the eyes, it does look a little cold. You know, it doesn't kind of have that motherly vibe that the Filmation figure kind of had. You know, Queen Marlena, Prince Adam's mother, you know, she always seemed to have kind of this quality to her that you could kind of relate to as a kid. You know, you always would think that that's Adam's mom. You know, just like, you know, your friend down the street, that's his mom. This was Adam's mom. And that's the way I kind of looked at her. And here, mostly because the eyes are just black dots. And I'm going to bring Adora back in here just for a moment to let you see. You know, Adora's eyes, very expressive, you know, with the blue, a little bit of white highlight. And to see that Marlena's eyes are just this black dot, I don't know, it somehow kind of distracts from the figure. It makes it look a little more cold. I mean, for an overall effect, she looks great. I mean, the arms are still completely free in the movement. The Marlena head with our hairstyle, plenty of clearance over the collar, and still a nice tight joint. It's not a real bad bobble. The teeth, I mean, the one thing I do love too is how creative they were as far as making this rubber tab zipper design. That's great. I really hope that more figures use this, particularly if they have kind of full body armor on. That was very creative. Kudos to whoever came up with that one, guys. I like it. But she's very, very cool. She comes with two accessories of her own. One is kind of a 2002, you know, Eternian Palace staff. Which, of course, as with some figures, actually serves as an extra, you know, base to help them stand. She doesn't really need it. She stands pretty well on her own. No loose joints. It is a little warped, as with a lot of the staffs for the series are. It does have a bit of a warp in it. Not too bad, but there's definitely a bend in it. Has the same kind of green style on the end, and then kind of the top of it very much like the one Randor has, which we'll get a look at here in just a second. She also comes with the sword that just recently came with the Battleground Tila. So just so people know that even though she's Queen of Eternia now, you know, if she were forced to, she could grab a sword and defend herself and her family no less than she could back when she was piloting a spaceship. So very cool, very nice. As I was saying, I'm probably going to keep her like this in her Marlena outfit. I may go ahead and repaint up Adora and use her for that, or I may actually do the other way around. I don't know yet. But having a spare Adora body and being the fact she's based off Adora really does open up some options for me. So stay tuned to see how that turns out. Now, can't do this particular figure. Can't do Captain Glenn or Queen Marlena without bringing in probably the real seller for this series, the one that I think everyone really wanted, and that's Cringer. I am a little surprised that we got Cringer like this. I was actually suspecting that Cringer might be the subscription figure for next year. I kind of thought Cringer would have been a great subscription figure. But no, they went ahead and packaged him in with Marlena, which is fine. I mean, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, he helps round out the royal family. He is basically an accessory, though. I mean, if Adam had come on a single card, you know, I don't doubt that Cringer would have been his accessory. There's really not much to him. At least not as far as being an action figure. One thing he does have, just oozing, is nostalgia. I mean, from the face, first off, that is just a Cringer face. That is a terrific sculpt and paint for Cringer. Filmation fans look at that and it takes you back. It really does. The head does twist so that, you know, you can actually get Cringer with a kind of a sideways look. But there's nothing in the legs, nothing in the body, nothing in the paws, nothing like Battle Cat has. There is a twist of the tail. But if you put it back in its original position, you may or may not have noticed that Cringer is actually posed, the solid Cringer piece, plastic, is posed in the original Battle Cat. Whereas Battle Cat was basically a single piece of plastic as well, the pose is a complete tribute to that old Battle Cat pose. The right paw forward, the left paw back, the tail, which was actually sculpted against the leg on Battle Cat, rests against the back of his leg. Again, with the right paw, the right rear leg forward. It's a tremendous tribute to that old figure. One that I was so thrilled to look at and think, wow, they copied Battle Cat, but finally made him Cringer. You know, it's not just, it's like when you used to take your armor off Battle Cat when you were a kid and try and pretend that this big thing was Cringer. Well, they still kept the shape of it. They still used the look of the old Battle Cat in the pose, but they finally did give us Cringer, which is just so cool. If we've got Cringer, we'll go ahead and we'll bring in Adam. And if your family's like mine, whenever there's a family photo, yeah, the dads, the uncles, all the guys in the family stand in the back, and then all the girls, all the female family members get to stand in front. And so there you have it. The royal family finally completed. with Orko, which I wish I brought him in here now, with Orko, Man-at-Arms, a few of the Palace Guards, you can really have a nice setup for the royal court. But that's taking a look at the royal family, now complete. Hope you enjoy watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.